I talk to my kiddos pretty openly about their neurodivergence, and I try to do it in a neutral way. This is how your brain works. This is what helps for brains that work like this typically. And I do try to strike this balance. I don't want them to feel like they are other or bad, but at the same time, I also don't want them to use it as an excuse for bad behavior or to excuse giving up. What I do want is for them to understand how their brains work so that they can better explain who they are, advocate for themselves, and also figure out how to best cope. I think about my own life. Learning I had ADHD was super helpful for me. It also explained my childhood, getting in trouble a lot for looking like I wasn't paying attention. My report cards would always say, or calls home would say, she looks like she's not paying attention. But then when we ask her the answer to the question, she's right on target and she knows exactly what's going on. Because for me, doing something else, looking in a different part of the room, maybe looking distracted, but I was actually able to better focus on what the teacher was saying when I was doing something else in my body. So I have an example of how this has helped my kiddos. My PDA kiddo was talking to his little brother. I was not even there, so this is the cutest thing. So they were having a conversation, and my son referred to himself as a creeper. I don't mean like someone looking into dark windows at night. I mean like this cute little guy. They're both really into Minecraft. Now, what a creeper does is when you get close to him and it's about to explode, it starts to hiss like a lit fuse, like sss, and then if you don't move away, it explodes and you die in Minecraft. So he was explaining this to his brother, and they came and told me about the conversation later. And he was essentially describing the behaviors that the little brother should watch for in order to steer clear and stop bugging him or whatever it is. And I know that he did this out of care for his brother because he does feel some shame and guilt after he explodes on his brother and wanting to help. But also what I loved about it was noticing his own first signs of explosion. That acknowledgement and awareness is the first step for him in learning to cope with it on his own. So learning to remove himself from a situation or ask for help. And I think that is a huge point of development for him. And I don't think he would be able to articulate that without the knowledge of how his brain works and the freedom to kind of discuss and experiment about what works. So here's to honesty with our kids.